And it's still the Wonder Woman Wednesday edition. Right about now, we're about to have our final interview for the day. And we have with us Helen Okeyemi Agbola, who is a kingdom-driven business coach, CEO of Glare Beauty, founder of Glare Beauty Academy, and a visionary of Noble Hearts. Now, she's passionate and about empowering women to build purposeful alignments, profitable lives, and businesses while growing in faith and impact. Trust me, her bio is long. But then again, we just had to do a quick and lovely summary. She's also married with 3 handsome boys. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right, so on the episode today, we literally have been talking about sexual assault, and it's amazing. First of all, thank you so much for joining us to come here and share your story. I think that is something brave that a lot of people have not stepped into, but then again, here you are. Thank you so much. All right.
All right, so for us, this is something that is personal because we are women as well. We have personal experiences, familial experiences, and even from friends and random people who share their stories. And so we'd really like to know your story. What happened?
All right, so it happened many years ago when I was still a teenager. So I traveled back home from school. We were on holiday at that time. And so it's been a long time. I've never gone out before with my friends. And so it's been a long time I saw this particular friend of mine, and then she offered that we go out, and then we did. And because, I don't know, maybe because it was my first time, I really enjoyed it, and then, you know, I stayed for a very long time. And then, you know, I got back home and my stepmom was very angry, like, where have I been? And I'm coming back late. And so the next day, there's this guy, we grew up together. I also saw him when I went for the party, so he came to check up on me. And we're just outside gisting, and then someone saw us and, you know, went back and, you know, told my family, and then, you know, that was how everything started. They started, you know, they didn't trust me any longer if anything had happened, and they started questioning me, what's happening, you know, do you have a boyfriend? We don't even know if you are still a virgin. So they needed to check my virginity and to affirm that I'm still a virgin.
They wanted to confirm your virginity?
Yes. So, and then there's this uncle that lives downstairs at our house. Like, it's a big house, and, you know, he lives downstairs, and he's like a family, but he wasn't my family. And he was the one that, I can't even remember, maybe he suggested, or they shall agree that he would be the one to check. Yes.
We'll check. So please, what was the intention? How did they intend to check?
So, yeah, they said they were going to use egg.
Egg?
Yes.
Cooked egg or raw egg?
I don't even know, maybe it was raw or cooked, but it was egg that they said they were going to use to check that if the egg doesn't penetrate, so it means that I'm still a virgin. But if it does, it means I'm no longer a virgin. So.
And it was the uncle that was to do this?
Not a direct uncle. It was
but it was a man?
Yes, it was a man.
Not even a female?
No, not a female.
So a neighbor?
A neighbor. So, but like family, we do everything together.
Yes.
So my friend was around.
The neighbor, the neighbor, is he married?
He's married, but he wasn't living with his wife.
He wasn't living with his wife. Because I was going to say, what happened to his wife? And then your auntie as well, what happened? Your stepmom. He didn't want to do it.
She wasn't there. They just asked me to follow him to check.
So did he take you somewhere?
Yeah, so he took me to their living room. My friend was with me, and then he brought out the egg, and then he checked and said, oh, you're still a virgin, and thank God for your life and everything. So I went back upstairs, and for me, I felt like, now you already checked and I'm free, let me just go. And because I was just trying to wrap my head around why do they have to check me, why are they not even believing that I'm still a virgin, and because I didn't even understand anything that has to do with sex at that time. So, but I was just playing along because I felt like, okay, these are one of the things that needs to be done. And so my friend went back home. So I think I went downstairs to pick up my earring or something. So, and then he grabbed me.
This same
person?
Virginity
checking on.
Yes.
Wow.
Then he grabbed me and then he was pulling me close. And then he was telling me that, because he hadn't gone to my stepmom to give him the report that I wasn't a virgin, but I had gone upstairs to tell them and my other siblings. So they were still waiting for him to come, but he hadn't gone. So he said, come, let's have something together, like, don't worry, be my girlfriend, date me, and I will not tell them that you are no longer a virgin. I said, but you just confirmed that I was still a virgin, and he said he would turn the story around, and I should just allow him to have his way and all of that. So, and I pushed him away, and then, you know, I forcefully, you know, tried to get out of his grip, and then I went back upstairs. Still did not understand, because I just told my younger brother and we're just laughing about it, and then we started, you know, abusing him. And so every day he would always want to look for opportunity to grab me, to hold me, and he would hug me tight.
We were talking about.
What did you tell your stepmom about this?
If I told them, I didn't think they were going to.
I would have been surprised if you even said you told her. And
I couldn't even tell them because there was
already
there's already a bias.
Yes, he was already saying that he was going to use that against me. That I was going to tell them that I'm not a virgin. I don't want.
This is a very interesting story because, I mean, I was just sharing with you guys earlier on and that this is an act that we've seen happen. Mary said she had read it in books, but even to me, the same thing, I was with a boy, an auntie friend that said, oh, I'm going to check it to know if you're a virgin. But the good thing was my mom is like, how dare you? You're not going to do that. You shouldn't even say that to my daughter. What is your business? So my mom was able to stand up for me. And I think that's even the honors of this story, for our parents to be able to stand up for us.
Guardians.
Yeah, parents, guardians, for them to be able to trust us as girls. And if somebody's telling you something, just believe it because I'm just a girl. But curious about this story, how were you able to navigate through all of that? Because I can think of you as a young girl still trying to understand what is going on. How were you able to navigate that and become who you are today? Yeah,
so when it was time for me to start having male friends, like boyfriends, it was very difficult because I wouldn't let them touch me. In fact, as a male, you can't touch. Yes, you can't touch me. And
so you were able to escape the man?
Yes.
Eventually, you didn't get to do anything?
But every time that I always try to avoid him. If I'm coming downstairs and I see him coming, I'll run back upstairs. And I and my younger brother that I told, we just laugh about it and we always make jest of him. So there was a day that he was trying to also, you know, forcefully hold me at the top of the stair, like, let's assume you're going downstairs and, you know, just by the staircase. And then I pushed him. And he fell and broke his head. And he fell and hit his head and he was swollen.
This is where we say, thank you, Jesus.
And he was swollen, and then I and my younger brother were just making jest of him. And, you know, I said if he ever goes to tell my stepmom that anything happened, I'm not a virgin, that I was going to also tell them that the reason he has, you know, that mark was because he was trying to force himself on me.
Yes.
And so I think after some time he left that place and, you know, he wasn't longer living with us. But each time I'm coming in, I always feel like somebody is going to grab me.
Yes, that's whole harassment.
Yes, especially by that staircase.
Yes.
Even till now, if I still want to pass that place, look as if he's coming to grab me.
That's the psychological.
Yes.
And this was how many years ago?
Maybe like 20 years ago.
So now, I mean, this is even talking about, I mean, the act's not even being done. And literally you see the psychological effect it has on you. And you were talking about how it also played out, you trying to have friends and male friends. Now let's talk about that. Did that in any way affect, I mean, you getting married, you having relations with your husband, and also you having boys now? And how do you train the boys, I mean,
Yeah, it did. Because even for a very long time until I had to, you know, finally speak to a therapist and, you know, go through my healing journey, which happened 2 years ago. It was very tough because my husband would feel like, I'm married to you, so, okay, I understand that I can't touch you when we're still courting, but now we are married. Why can't you just allow me to touch you? Why do you always? And I didn't understand. I felt like, okay, maybe because, and then I was hiding under maybe because I'm a church girl and, you know, I'm trying to keep myself and all of that. And now we are married, so I should be able to touch you and all of that. Because while I was in school, if guys come close to me, if you touch me, even if I was going to say yes, that's the end of it.
Wow.
So, and that really affected my marriage, and my husband could not understand why. And at a point, it felt like maybe, oh, you're just, maybe somebody somewhere is actually touching you, and that's why.
That's why this.
You don't want me to touch you. But after some time, you know, I had to open up to him about the story, and I don't know if it's coming from that story, but I just told him my experiences that I've had with male. It was when I now spoke with a therapist, I realized that.
Who suggested the therapist?
Nobody. I think maybe
You just you
God.
came
I
to a
just
realization.
orchestrated our paths, and then, you know, I just opened up to her about the things that was happening in my marriage, and then she started
So that was
asking me,
why you
even
went to
went to-
seek
Yes.
the therapist
yes,
because of
so,
that. So it
but
was
she
that
started
severe.
asking her about my childhood, what are the experiences. So I now told her that story, and then she was
She
very
linked it.
interested in that story.
Yes.
That is the reason why I am having this, you know, this
Issues in
my marriage now. So, and you know, the healing journey has been great, because each time I try to remind myself when my husband wants to touch me that he can touch me, and
It's
you know,
fine. It's okay.
it's fine, it's okay. The person that tried to do it then, you know, wanted to, you know, take advantage of me, but this person has rights to
intentions
touch
and
me,
has
and
rights.
I should feel comfortable, you know, in his hand. And raising boys, I'd always tell them, if you touch a girl, like, you know, I'd always, you know, try to let them know that, you know, girls are very fragile, and you know, they are very special. You don't touch them anyhow. You don't even look at them. You don't even come into where, you know, girls are undressing, or maybe they are trying to wear their clothes. You have to knock the door before you come in. Even in my house, you know, you have to knock the door. You have to, don't assume that. So you always have to respect ladies and respect their boundaries. You have to ask, can I come in? Can I touch you? Can I, you know, help you on dress? Because there was a time one of my son was trying to help a girl zip her clothes. I said, next time you have to ask her that, can I help you? Or you look for somebody, maybe like a female, to help her do that.
Okay,
So now, considering your experience, now you've gone through a lot. You've been married, you've gotten married, you have 3 children and all, and thankfully you've also gone through a healing journey. When you look back, what do you think could have been done differently? What is that thing you wish had happened differently from that moment of when you were seen with a boy to the moment when the man finally left your neighborhood? What do you wish had been done differently?
Okay, so what I wish had been done differently was, there was no sex education at that time. I didn't know it was even an abuse. I didn't even know that was, you know, an assault. Like, I didn't know what it was called. And if there were sex education, maybe it was talked about in the schools, we were addressed, were told, maybe I wouldn't even have allowed him to even check my virginity and all of that. And if I had gotten the right knowledge and the right information on time or at that time, it would have helped me.
Yes.
Because for a very long time, I was having a wrong perspective about men, about guys, and about how that they are harmful. You can't. In fact, I'll tell my friends not to play with a guy when I was growing up, because I feel like they can harm you. They can do bad things to you and all of that.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your journey. And I want to say this to you. It was not your fault. Right? It's fine. You would have not allowed him, but you had a guardian over you who would have had that responsibility to make sure something like that didn't happen to you. But thank you for being here with us, for sharing your journey. We thank you and wish you all the very best in all your many ventures. I know you're a beautician and all of that. So yeah, we'll definitely be checking that out. Thank you so much. And thanks to Amalayo as well, who also helped you through therapy. She was the one we had on the show on the first interview. So of course, if you like this interview, do send us your comments. Let us know what you think. And of course, men, you guys need to, be in on this conversation as well, because you have a very huge role to play here. All right. Welcome into the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. So we've had Chef Happiness hard at work. Hi, Chef. How you doing? She made this asum pasta from scratch right here in the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. All right. And of course, we'd like for you to try it out and let us know what you think about it. So, Chef, while she does that, please go ahead.
Okay.
Just tell us what we have on the plate here.
Okay, so you have the Happy Blend of some pasta. And yeah, so for this pasta, I used just the Happy Blend spice and some seasonings. And yeah, I added, all the colors of vegetables, because it's very important we have vegetables in our carbohydrates for a balanced diet.
Yes,
And we have some eggs. I said it before, eggs are one of my favorite protein. And we have some asun. And yeah.
What do you think? What do you think? Do you like it?
Wow. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Well done.
Nice.
Well done. Thank you. So probably try that soon, and then maybe get to the egg. All right. Thank
It's
you.
been a very beautiful show, ladies. I must say that. And thank you both, and Titi, for doing this. I mean, I'm proud, and I know that we're about to have a good time every Wednesday.
Absolutely.
So.
Thanks to our producers as well, Zainab, Francis,
Zainab,
Miles as
I
well.
love you. Thank
Yes.
you so much. Anyways,
Thanks to our director. We will start today. No, thanks to them.
makeup artists, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yes.
But this is not where we end the show. I mean, it continues tomorrow till
Absolutely,
Friday. But we have
absolutely.
Cindy standing by to take us out with a musical performance.
Tell me where you at, I'm running there. Meet me right now, I'm coming there.